Alright, so welcome to your next project. In this project we're going to be building excuse me, a community event system, and we're going to get into the Drywall module. So Drywall is basically a complete user management system for Node.js. Users can register through Drywall and get confirmation links and log in, but we're going to be adding some functionality to that. We're going to be making it so that users can add events, the locations, the descriptions, times, things like that. Just a basic, very, very basic event system. And they'll be able to log in and manage their events as well. They'll be able to edit them and delete them. So that's what we're going to do. And we're also going to do something a little different. We're going to use something called MongoLab, which is basically a third-party hosting service that offers MongoDB databases. All right, and there's a lot of different. They have different plans. Wait a minute. Let me go back to the home page. There's different plans and packages, but we're just basically. All right, yeah, here it is. So you can pay monthly or whatever, but we're gonna go with the free sandbox account, which gives us single database, multi-tenanted process. Okay, so you're going to want to go ahead and sign up for that. I already have an account, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And basically it gives you a graphic interface to work with. Let's see, where am I? Plan, sandbox. Wait, this is to create a new subscription. I should already have. One second. Here we go. So account users. Alright, so here is my, I guess my dashboard where we can create new databases. I have 2 up and running. Basically what we're going to do is, after you create your account and log in, we're going to want to create a new database. And I guess I did have the right page. You can choose a cloud provider as far as where the data is actually stored. I guess we'll leave it at the default, which is Amazon. And then down, we can leave everything by default. Price $7.20 a month. I don't think I picked the right. Where is it? Oh, right here. Single node and sandbox. Okay, so that should be free. Okay, database name. Let's call it COM events. And we can go ahead and deploy that. So now we have this COM events database. You can click on that. And it gives us, it tells us how we can connect to it. So this is how we can connect to it through a shell, and this is how we can connect through it through a driver like Mongoose or whatever we're going to use. Collections down here, but before we do that, we need to add a database user. All right, so click right here and create a user. Let's see. And you can make the accounts read-only if you want. Alright, so now we have a user. As far as collections, we're going to leave this for now. We're going to just leave it with no collections. But we actually have to do some default, add some default collections. If we go to the Drywall GitHub, you'll see down here we're going to have to just add in this stuff, which is basically just adding the users, the application admin users. So we'll get to that, but the first thing we want to do is create a new folder for our project. Okay, so basically we're not going to create the folder yet. I'm just going to go ahead and git bash into my projects folder, and we're going to want to, let's see, we're going to want to install Grunt, which is a task runner for Node. So we just want to run this command right here. It's going to install it globally. think I already have it. Oh, all right. So the next thing, what we want to do is pull this down. We're going to clone it. Okay, so we can copy this and paste it in. But we're going to change some things. Okay, we're going to take off the end here, and we're just going to, we want to put what we want the folder to be named. By default, it'll be called Drywall, and I don't want that. So I'm going to call it com events. All right, now I figured this would happen. It's denied. We get permission denied. We don't have a public key, so we need to generate an SSH key and then enter that into your GitHub account. And we have to do that to be able to pull down the repository. So let me see, GitHub, get SSH keys. Okay, so let's see, to create an SSH key, you want to copy this. All right, and I'm just going to paste that in. And you want to just use your own email. Okay, and we'll run that, and that should create a new key. Press enter, and I have one. I'm just going to overwrite it. And you can choose if you want a passphrase or not. If not, just press enter, and again. And now you should have a key, and we can copy that to our clipboard. If we go down here and copy this right here, this clip, and go ahead and paste that in. Okay, that's going to put it on our clipboard. So now what you need to do is log into GitHub. If you don't have a GitHub account, you need to create one if you want to pull the repository. All right, and then once you're logged in, we can go to settings and then SSH keys and then add SSH key, and you should be able to just paste it in now. Okay, and I'll just call this, you can call it whatever. Eduonix is fine. Add key. Now we should be able to go back and run that that pull request again, or clone. All right, so now it's working. Okay, and if we go to projects, we now have a com events folder, and it has the basic file structure. Now if we open the package.json file, this will give us all the modules that are going to be installed, all the dependencies. Okay, it's using bcrypt, which we used in our user manager, Express, Jade, Mongoose is going to be used for the MongoDB driver, Passport. All right, all the authentication actually just runs, Passport is what runs at the core. All right, and all the grunt stuff. So what we're going to do now is just run npm install. Okay, you want to go into that directory, com events, and we'll do npm install. And it might take a few minutes because there's a lot of dependencies. All right, so that's installed. Now what we need to do is rename the config file. Okay, so you can see we have config.example.js, and it tells us the command to rename it, which is right here. And you can do this through Windows if you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in. All right, now let's edit that file. Okay, so config.js, and this is where you're going to keep your database info, your SMTP, or just basic metadata. So the first thing we have is the MongoDB URL, and by default it's just localhost in a database called Drywall. So we need to change that. So if we go to MongoLab, you can see they have, we want this one right here. Okay, so let's see, let's copy that. Yours will obviously be different. All right, and then we want to paste it right here. All right, and you just want to change the user to the one that you just created in MongoLab, and also the password. Alright, and then we'll change the company name. Just change it to Community Events. Same thing with the project name. And then the system email. I'm just going to put anything here. And then the crypto key can stay the same, or you can change it. This down here is for the email, for the SMTP. This is for things like confirmation emails, and it's set by default to Gmail's SMTP server, which is fine for us. So let's change this to the website. And then this will be the email that shows up in the reply. So for this, support, just put in one of my other email addresses. And then for the credentials here, you want to put your Gmail address. And then the password, this will be your Gmail password. Obviously, I'm not going to put that in on camera, but yeah, and then this can stay the same, or you can use a different SMTP service altogether. But that should be it. So we want to save that. Alright, so let me get this out of here. Let's go back to the GitHub page, and we should be able to now run the grunt command. And I believe that'll start the application.